Okay, today we are talking about how to replace a wax ring on a toilet. Here is the tools and materials I'll be using today for this video demonstration. I highly recommend using these wax-free toilet bowl seals. They're much more forgiving, much cleaner, easier to install than the traditional wax rings. Those wax rings will freeze hard, solid in the wintertime if you're a service technician and they're riding around on your service vehicle. Conversely, in the summertime, if they're riding around in the back of your service vehicle, they'll start to soften and get sticky. These blue rubber ones won't do that. So let's get started by turning the water off to the toilet. We'll then flush the toilet and hold the handle down to drain as much water as we can out of the tank and bowl. Now remove the tank lid, set it aside in a safe place. Now bring in a wet, dry shop vac to vacuum out the remaining water in the toilet bowl and toilet tank. Now we'll go ahead and disconnect the water line from the bottom of the toilet tank. Now I'll go ahead and pry off the little plastic caps. Then we can go ahead and loosen and remove those nuts. This new kit comes with new T-bolts and nuts. However, if the existing ones are in still perfectly good condition, they're not damaged or rusted out, you could potentially reuse them. Woo! And that would save you the hassle of having to trim the excess bolt length down with that small hacksaw later on. Okay, now with the nuts removed, I'm going to go ahead and take this box cutter knife and carefully remove and cut away all that old caulking that was around the bottom of the toilet. Now I'm going to go ahead and place a new rubber ring in the area so it's ready for installation. In my installation here, I'll need to use a spacer as well. So it comes with directions So it'll tell you what to do if your closet flange sits below the surface of the floor, even with the surface of the floor, or above the surface of the floor. I'm just going to set a plastic bag here so it's ready to receive the old wax ring. Now we'll go ahead and lift the toilet straight up and off of the closet flange. Lift up by the toilet bowl, not the toilet tank. Closer look at that old wax ring. I saw signs of dried urine, so I assumed it was leaking, and sure enough, you can see right there where that wax ring was not installed properly to begin with or failed over time. Luckily, it was a small leak that I caught. I put this trash back down ahead of time for the toilet to sit on. And use our putty knife to carefully remove the old wax ring and the rest of this caulking from the floor. Use this opportunity to inspect your closet bolts, your closet flange, make sure nothing's cracked or rusted out or broken. If it is, they do make repair flanges for this type of application. Whether you have a concrete subfloor or a wood subfloor, this happens to be on a second floor inside of a house, but the flange is still in excellent condition. The T-bolts are still in good condition. They're not rusted or damaged, so I'll reuse those. I'm just making sure I scrape off any debris so we get a nice clean, tight seal with that new seal. While I'm here, I'll tighten up these first set of mounting nuts. Your kit may just have those plastic retainers. So now the installation of the new seal is pretty straightforward and simple, but again, follow the directions depending on if your closet flange is even with the floor, above the finished floor, or below the level of the floor. So these only go on one way. It even tells you this side up. It shows you in the diagram the proper orientation. And the directions tell you to install the spacer first if you need to use a spacer for your application.
Woo!
Okay, I made sure the bottom of the toilet is clean. We'll go ahead and set the toilet carefully back down on the new seal. Line up those holes with your closet bolts. Okay, now we'll go ahead and install the plastic washer, followed by the stainless steel washer, and then finally the nut. Repeat this step on both sides and alternate side to side, tightening the nut down with a wrench. Do not over tighten the nuts because you can crack the porcelain and break your toilet. So you see how this has a lip on it? You want that lip up. like that. And that will allow that little plastic cap to snap on. Then again, I'll alternate from side to side, carefully tightening them down. And then make sure you check your alignment of your washers as you tighten the nuts down, because sometimes the washers will move. Ideally, you want them to completely cover the hole or the opening where the bolts go through the base of the toilet. Checking to see if the toilet rocks or wobbles. It does not. It's nice and solid. So now we can go ahead and install our water line to the connector on the bottom side of the toilet tank. And then we can go ahead and turn the water on, fill the tank and the bowl up with water, flush the toilet, check for leaks. If there's no leaks, we'll reinstall those plastic cover caps over the bolts, and the job is complete. Please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment, and thanks for watching.